Hello, welcome to Bite Size. I'm your host, David Byrne. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive into solutions in order to address vagrancy in the United States. We talked about it briefly in another video, but in this video, we're going to be talking a little bit more specifically about the solutions I would like to see and the options that we can use to address the issue. Let's start with the Central State Hospital in Milledgeville, Georgia. This was a mental health treatment facility, one of the biggest in the nation, and in fact, it was one of the biggest in the world. It had 20,000 beds or patients at one point, and it still has 1,750 acres of most of it farmable land. They're even growing crops out on it right now. You'll see in my other video about mental health how I think we need to rebuild this facility and how we need to bring it back in order to address mental health. But a lot of the problem in vagrancy is mental health. So we need to convert a portion of this facility not only to helping those who need mental health, and in the case of vagrants who do, they would be assessed as such, they'd be assessed as needing mental health help, and they would go to the mental health portion of this hospital. But what about the people who don't have issues? They just don't want to be a part of society, right? They just have chosen, hey, I'm just going to beg because it's easier than a job. We want to take those options away. You cannot, and again, I said this in my other video, you cannot be in the middle of a city that society built but claim not to want to be a part of society. It's an absolute fallacy. So I say that one option would be to convert a portion of the Central State Hospital to homeless housing and say, hey, you got these 750 acres to farm. Don't be a part of society. Go grow your own crops. Go do your own thing. We won't bother you. You don't bother us. You want to make your own society? Here's your little space. Go do you. But you're not going to sit in the middle of a city that we built as society and beg from us. Alternatively, you can Georgia could just buy a large tract of land out in the middle of nowhere. That would be hard to get to, and I'll tell you why that's important. You only need an 8,000 person commune. That's how many homeless people are in the state of Georgia. And you know what? And then we just make it illegal to be vagrant in the entire state of Georgia, and any judge could just sentence a homeless person to serve out their sentence on this commune. And we're just going to have the sheriff go drop you off in the middle of nowhere, so it's hard to leave, and you can go be with all the other homeless people who didn't want to be a part of society. I talked to some construction people based on the housing needs that you need for this. It would only cost about $65 million, which is a lot of money, but it's $32 billion is how much we spend in this state every year. And with $65 million, we could basically solve the homeless issue. I would take it. I'd pay it. There are some other options, but my point here, and I hope I've shown you some possible solutions where we really need to have a spot that we can stick the homeless people, right? We put them there, and then we say, hey, it is now illegal to be homeless in any of our cities, any of our towns. We don't want you here. It's an absolute bluff to say that you can be a part of it, but you're not contributing anything. So we're going to buy a spot where we can say, we're going to put you here. And if you choose not to be a part of society, and you can be on your own little commune, your own little space there, away from the rest of us. This is for people who refuse to be a part of society. For people who still want to or need help reintegrating with society, again, we need to revamp the Central State Hospital. We need to bring it back so that people can get mental health treatment. We need a program modeled after prison pre-release programs where we have Department of Corrections runs dormitory that mandate that you receive mental health counseling, that make sure that you're able to get a job, that you're able to get your life back on track. We need other facilities for people who want to get their life on track, but have simply fallen on hard times. This is for the people who simply don't want to be a part of society. Thank you all. I appreciate your time. I hope you've seen where I'm coming out with my desire for anti-vagrancy laws in the state of Georgia, but also how I want to make it humane. And I don't want to fill our prisons with people who simply have chosen not to be a part of society. Thank you all. Take care. Please like and subscribe to this video. It really helps the channel.